Hey guys, long time no talk. In case you didn't know, I'm doing Vlogtober in the month of October. Obviously, that's why it's called Vlogtober. And maintaining 3 channels is just really hard, but no excuses. If you want to see my vlogs this month, I will link my vlog channel down below. And also, it is Halloween time over on my main channel, which you guys know what that means. If you've been with me for a while, you know I do Halloween tutorials every year. I just thought I'd give that a shout out here because this is a horror channel and I thought you guys would be interested. I thought I'd come back with a top 10 Netflix gems part 2 video. If you haven't seen my first one, I will link it down below, but I decided to do a part 2 because that was like, what, a year ago? And a lot of those movies have been taken down since. And so these are ones that are currently on American Netflix. And of course, any reviews that I've done for any of these movies, I will link down below if you want further in-depth reviews. And if any of these I have not reviewed and you want a review, please let me know down below. Number 1, we're talking about Creep. I had watched this because I thought it was highly requested, but you guys were talking about a 2004 movie called Creep and not this one, but I ended up loving this one. It is amazing. It's about a videographer who is hired to record this guy's life basically because he says he's dying and he wants to leave something for his child. And obviously he turns out to be a creep. Hence the name. It is a found footage style movie, so if you're not into that, maybe you won't like this one, but I think the story development, the character development, the acting, the storyline itself is just so well done, and it honestly feels kind of real, so I would give that one a watch. The next one is Hush. I recently reviewed this one, so obviously that'll be linked down below. This isn't necessarily a gem because how I decide whether it's a gem or not is if it's mainstream enough. If it's not very mainstream, I'm gonna include it in this list if I liked it and it's on Netflix. So Hush I think is a little bit more mainstream. It definitely got a lot of press attention and like media attention. People were talking about it a lot because it's something different. It's about this girl who is deaf and it's a home invasion film. And it basically exhibits how it would be, what she goes through during a home invasion while being deaf. And it's honestly horrifying. I hate home invasion films. Like, they just don't scare. I mean, I don't hate them. I like them as movies, but they don't scare me. So I tend to not enjoy them as much because I don't get frightened. But this one honestly scared me. Next up is Girl in the Photographs. This is one of the most bizarre films I've ever seen. This girl basically receives some photographs of brutally murdered young women and you don't know if it's real or not. And I believe, okay, it's weird because when I was watching this, the photographer guy, I swear they're playing on Terry Richardson, which if you don't know who that is, he's a very controversial fashion photographer. And just, I don't want to like say that this guy is a representation of him, but his character just reminded me so much of him. The next one is Beneath. Now there's 2 on Netflix currently, but you want to watch this one. This one's the good one. Actually, I haven't watched the other one, so I can't really say. Beneath is basically kind of a knockoff film of The Descent meets As Above So Below a little bit. I liked it. It's like The Descent but with men involved as well, and there's one girl. It's not the most well done, but I really enjoyed it, and it was a thriller-esque, like the suspense was really good, so I would highly recommend that one as well. Next up is Honeymoon, which this is included in one of my top 10 horror movies of all time list, so of course I'm going to include it in the Netflix Gems Part 2 video because it is on Netflix. It is amazing. This couple basically goes on their honeymoon and weird things start happening, and it is so good, and I feel like it's very underrated as well. I don't hear a lot of people talking about it. You let me know down below if you've seen it, what you think of it. I just say watch it. Next is one that I watched recently and I'm actually planning on doing a review on, and that is The Invitation. This one's definitely not much of a horror as it is a suspense thriller film, but the gradual buildup of this movie makes it so intense and it's so good. The characters are amazing. You can really not necessarily relate to them, but you can really feel them like they're real people. Basically, this guy is invited to an old friend's house and things just get a little weird when they start to go a little, not necessarily religious, but it's a little preachy, and then it turns into something really strange, and it's really good. Next is Let Us Pray, another very bizarre one and one I don't hear a lot of people talk about. Again, this isn't my favorite on the list, but I think it's definitely worth watching on Netflix. I don't even know how to describe this movie, to be honest. It's set in a police station and there's this guy there who can see people's sins. He's basically like the Grim Reaper or the devil, and it's just very bizarre. It's a weird film. Definitely watch the trailer so you can see like the vibe that you're gonna get into, but I'd say if you have a night free, definitely watch it. Of course, I have to talk about The Houses October Built. It is that time of year, and this has definitely been added to my list of Halloween movies that I like to watch every year. You know, I got my Christmas movies I like to watch every year, and now I have my Halloween movies I watch every year. This one's become quite popular with the whole clown thing happening in the United States right now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Google that. But people are saying that they're like inspired by this movie because this movie Definitely has some clowns going on, so if that's one of your fears, you might like this movie because you'll actually be afraid, or you'll hate this movie because you'll be afraid. But it's definitely creepy. I love the characters, like the clowns in it. They're just so scary. And I'm not even afraid of clowns, and I think that they're scary. And it kind of plays on everyone's fear of haunted houses. It's basically a group of people who are recording themselves going to all these haunted attractions in America, and they come across these clowns that follow them. Next is Preservation, and this is more of a calm movie, I guess. It's less, I mean, it's intense, it's gory. And last but not least is Starry Eyes. I've talked about this movie multiple times on my channel because it is just that good. Again, I feel like it's very underrated and it's just amazing. The storyline's really cool. What I love about it though the most is the gore and the scare factor of this. It's very disturbing. And the concept of just a girl going to Hollywood to try and become an actress, and that's just her biggest dream, and she's going to do anything to become famous or to become an actress. It's just that desperation that really makes her do things that maybe she wouldn't want to do, and then it becomes really strange. Let me know your Netflix gem recommendations down below. I'm always looking for new movies to watch on Netflix, and there's a million terrible, bad horror films on there, but there's a bunch of good ones too, so it's just really digging through all the films on there to really find the gems. But I hope you like these gems and check them out. Let me know down below if you do or what your thoughts are on them. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.